Hey everybody, happy Saturday. I wanted to jump on live and share a story real quick that I haven't shared publicly about one of my kids. But I think there's a bigger message behind something that one of my daughters was going through that I wanted to share with everyone, because I think fear of failing and not having control over something is something that we all deal with. I know when coaches join my team, that's one of the number one things they say is that they're afraid of failing. So it was such a compliment. Somebody mentioned to me the other day, they're like, gosh, Reese, she's like really coming into her own and all of these things. And I just love how she goes after things that she wants to do. And the truth is, before Reese tried out for the 8th grade volleyball team, she came to me a week before and she said, you know what, Mom, I'm not going to try out for volleyball. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, what? We paid $3,500 for her to play club over the summer, plus all the traveling we did. She went to a Nike camp that was a week-long camp. She got private lessons. We poured so much into her volleyball. And when she told me a week before tryouts for school, she wasn't going to try out for the team, I was like floored, kind of pissed, but floored. And I said, well, why not? Do you not like volleyball? And she goes, no, I love volleyball. I don't really want to try out. There's 50 other people and they're only taking 15. And I just don't want to try out. I want to focus on school. So I thought, okay, if it's not about volleyball, it's obviously, and she mentioned how many people were trying out. I go, it's more about, for her fear of failing, of trying out and not making it, and being embarrassed or humiliated in front of her team, her peers, her friends. And Reese is the kind of kid where she makes straight A's. She's a perfectionist. If she knows she has a test, she will study implicitly to get an A on that test because she can control that. She knows she can control the information she puts in her head, and that is going to be tested on. And I think for her, having the thought of having to try out and it be in someone else's control, whether she made the team or not, or maybe she didn't, we all don't always perform at our best every day physically, that it was out of her control and she feared that terribly. So I talked to her about it. And then the last thing I wanted her to do was, of course, be like, roll the eyes like a typical 13-year-old and be like, okay, I'll try out, because of course you go into tryouts with that attitude, you're not going to make the team because you've got a crappy attitude. So it was one of those things with her, and like with any teenager, you can't be a prophet in your own land. You can tell them, oh, let's work through this, let's talk through this, and they basically give you like the FU finger because you're the parent, right? But I sat her down and I really wanted her to see the bigger picture. And that's the message I want to share with you guys. If there is something that you're facing in your life that maybe scares you, that you're afraid to go after because of fear of judgment or failure, or that, you don't have control over the outcome. And when it came to Reese, I wanted her to understand this is not about a volleyball tryout. This is about absolutely doing your best and being okay with that, and regretting never trying something because you feared it. And I said to her, I'm like, what happens when you go for a job interview in life? People they have control over you getting the job or not. Unfortunately, there's a lot of politics in sports and in the workplace and in life in general, that things are not going to go your way. And it is out of your control, and it's going to suck. And there's going to be things that really piss you off that aren't fair. But you can't go through life not trying something out of fear that you're not going to achieve it or make it. So for her, I told her, I'm like, think of when you go for a job interview, anything in life when you apply for college, there's so many opportunities. You're going to have to put yourself out there. And I said, not to diminish volleyball, but it's just 8th grade volleyball. It's 8th grade volleyball. Why not take a risk on something of this size now so that you get through it and can be more confident when it's something of a greater magnitude later. And that's really what I want to share with all of you guys, is putting things in perspective when you fear, like, really, what's the worst that's going to happen? And she says, I would have to walk through the halls with my tryout gear all day knowing I didn't make the team. That was her answer. That was the worst that was going to happen. I said, well, we can fix that. If you don't make the team, I will come to the school and get your stuff and take it home so you don't have to walk around with it. Problem solved. And so what's the greatest thing that could happen if you don't try, or if you do and don't make it? Because I feel like her not trying out and then having all these people make the team and her having to see that and then walk around with their gear on and their jackets, knowing she definitely earns a spot on that team but was too afraid of failure to go after it, would be way worse. That regret would be way worse than giving it her best and not making it. So she did make the team, and she started the other day at one of their games, and I'm really proud of her. But the message I wanted to share with you guys, my kids definitely are not these big risk takers and are perfect, but I do really want people, mostly my kids, but people, to remember, absolutely go for something, because if you don't, the regret of never trying and seeing other people fulfill their dreams and maybe getting a spot that you have earned is going to be way worse. And so really ask yourself, what's the worst that's going to happen if I try and fail? You just try again and you try again. And there's so much reward and refinement that happens in your life when you do that, and you provide that for your kids. I'll add one more thing. It was funny because we had shared this with some other people, and other people were like, well, then don't let her try out. If she doesn't want to try out, then she doesn't have to. Or, maybe have her do a different sport. And I'm like, no, it's not about the volleyball. It's about the fear of failing. It's about the fear of failing. So why put a blanket over the bigger issue here? Why not help her work through that issue so that when it's something more in the future, she's already got that confidence and that mindset of the bigger picture and working herself through it. So face your fears, no matter how scary they may be. Reach out to loved ones and share what you fear the most, and then come up with a perception in your head to put it all in perspective and get through it. All right, guys, I wanted to share that with you because it was really on my heart. And someone had mentioned to me about Reese the other day, and I'm like, oh my God, she wasn't even going to try out for the team. So I hope you have a great Saturday, and I will talk to you guys later.